Et on ouvre cette édition de l'information avec cette note sombre, figure emblématique du journalisme camerounais. C'est avec une immense tristesse que nous avons appris aux premières heures de ce 1er août 2024 le décès de Suzanne Lobe, survenu à la garnison militaire de Douala. Journaliste engagée, elle aura marqué de son empreinte le paysage médiatique camerounais. Suzanne Lobe s'est éteinte à l'âge de 71 ans, membre du Conseil national de la communication. La nouvelle de sa mort confirmée par ses proches a suscité une vive émotion au sein de la communauté. Nos reporters se sont rendus sur les lieux. Vous verrez, nous irons de ce côté dans la suite de cette édition de l'information. Nous recevons à l'instant Peter Saucier. On parle de cette dame, de cette date même qui restera jamais gravée dans les annales du journalisme camerounais. Une bibliothèque s'en est allée. Suzanne Lobe a marqué l'histoire du journalisme au Cameroun par son engagement et son professionnalisme. Il faut rappeler qu'elle est née le 16 janvier 1953. Elle suit les traces de son père, Veuillez, Lobe, lui-même journaliste. Au fil des années, Suzanne Lobe va diversifier ses activités dans le paysage médiatique. Sa contribution au développement des médias au Cameroun va être reconnue par sa nomination au Conseil national de la communication en 2013. Son approche sur les sujets d'actualité et son éthique professionnelle ont fait d'elle un modèle pour de nombreux jeunes journalistes au Cameroun et au-delà. Le décès de Suzanne Lobe laisse un vide immense dans le paysage médiatique camerounais. Durel Batinga.
Definitely, Larissa Libom, the demise of Suzanne Lobe, the seasoned journalist and editorialist, have been a big blow for many of Cameroonians in general this August 1, 2024. And we're going to be receiving very own Peter Saucier to give us more insight on the journey of Suzanne Lobe. Hello and thanks for joining us, Peter Saucier.
Thank you, Turo. Thank you, Larissa, for having me.
Now, Peter, tell us more about the journey of Suzanne Lobe, the seasoned journalist, the veteran and editorialist. You know, for those who were born in the 2012, the 2014, they don't really know of her legacy. Now, try to retrace it back, visit history for us, and tell us how much impact she had on as far as Cameroon media is concerned.
Well, the life of Suzanne Lobe could be summed up, first of all, in one word, mystery. Because mystery, I'll say, because she was born 16th of January 1953, and when you speak with her, she tells you that she was delivered at 6 a.m. and she is going, you know, earlier than 6 a.m., you know, just about the same time that she left. So I think it's something a little bit mysterious where you can't really point your finger, but when you look at how she covered her life professionally, then you can imagine you know, what a monument she was, not only in the field of journalism. Suzanne Lobe followed the footsteps of her father, Veuillez, Lobe, who also was a journalist. That's after she came from France. She was born in the year 1953, and then she went to Petit Jos, what is today known as Lycée Jos, just a few meters from here in Bonanjo. But at the age of 10, she left for France, where she did almost her elementary, secondary, and university education. In 1976, she obtained a doctorate degree in linguistics from the University of Paris, Troyes, and then an MBA in cultural management from 1989. I'll come back later to explain how all of this shaped, you know, her career from, you know, journalism to culture as well as politics. And then she did an interesting thesis at a time when government was, you know, government had already embarked the crackdown of the UPC, you know, in the late 1990s. She did an interesting thesis on grandeur and descent within the UPC party, which earned her a DEA in political science in 1997 from the University of Bordeaux in France. So when you look at her foundation, a doctorate in linguistics, an MBA in cultural management, and then a DEA, as they say in French, in political science from the University of Bordeaux. All of that had to shape her to be the colossus that she was today. When we look at her from the journalistic point of view, in 2003, she embraced La Nouvelle Expression, but before she came to Cameroon, she was already writing editorials for that particular newspaper, La Nouvelle Expression, which is part of the Equinox Group today. And that was where she caught most readers spellbound because her writing was incisive, she was fearless, you know, she says things the way they are. You know, she is a kind of crude traditional journalist, not the second-grade journalism where we are being told today maybe to manage things, to see how we can, go within borderlines. But she is the traditional journalist from the core. If you see something, you say something. You say it as it is. It does not matter whether the authorities are being hurt. And from her writing style, she became a critic, a massive critic of the current regime, and her stance has never changed. She has always, criticized the current regime and criticized policies that don't go according to hand. She has been a fervent defender of the people through her writings. After her stay at Nouvelle Expression, she went on Equinox Radio where she hosted a program, Polemos. Polemos is a program that deals with polemics. So, controversial issues and so on. So from there, you can imagine, the readership and the listenership that she gathered from there. She also hosted other programs there like Livre Noir, talking from a cultural background. And on Friday evening, she hosted the program Vendredi Soir, also on Equinox Group. She eventually created her own production that was known as EBK Production, and she presented the program Magazine Actu, which later aired on Canada International. And just to note that before her death, she was here with us. She was editorialist, consultant, and news editor for Dash Media. She was brought in, of course, by the former Director of Information, Polycarpe Somba. And for those who related with her, you will understand how huge she was to the journalism profession. Her experience is something which nobody can quantify. Due to her many years of experience in the journalism field, she was later appointed a member of the National Communications Council in the year 2013 by President Paul Biya, and also she was the lead communication for the hygiene and sanitation company, Hizakam. But also, to understand Suzanne Kalalobe, how good she was, if you invite her as someone, as a journalist, to talk about maybe waste management crisis, she will speak from a standpoint of journalism. It doesn't matter whether she was working with the company. Yeah. Yes, she speaks like a journalist. If you invite her, okay, come and communicate for the company, she will communicate. But if you want to talk about the real journalistic sense, she was a journalist par excellence. And just before the program, Journal du Cameroon, we had the review of tablets where I was speaking with Henry Kejan, where we're looking at the life of Suzanne Kalalobe. Just time for us to hook up with the production team to get some tidbits of what Kejan Henry knew about Suzanne Kalalobe. Let's watch.
Je veux dire, du président de la transition Olingui, Brice Clotaire, ce matin, ce 4 septembre 2023.
Alors, le 4 septembre 2023, un ancien garde républicain, un militaire, un gars du système a prêté serment pour dire que c'est désormais lui l'homme fort du pays. Il y avait un parterre des personnalités politiques du Gabon qui indiquait que ce fameux coup d'État est un coup d'éclat. C'est peut-être une révolution de palais, c'est peut-être un contentieux ponctuel, mais en tout cas, pour le Gabon, ce n'est pas la signification de la fin de la fameuse dynastie Bongo. Mais ceci dit, on peut analyser les choses d'une autre manière, plus objective, en se disant, bon, depuis quelque temps, les Africains en ont marre des dynasties. Et ils l'expriment en s'appuyant sur l'armée, etc. Bon, ça c'est un signe des temps dont il faut prendre compte. Ensuite, pour le Gabon, si vous voulez, la dynastie Bongo, la famille stricte, enfin stricto sensus, a duré. Mais quand on regarde les arcanes, si vous voulez, des pressions ou des alliances de Brice Oligui Nguema, on sent que c'est qu'un règlement de compte entre clans.
Those of us who've actually rubbed shoulders with Kalalobe for a very long time, about 25 years today, I want to say particularly or personally that I had a very good working relationship with Lobe. There was just no time she will hesitate to give you information that you need, just like she will do to other folks of the press. But I would say that I have very good memories of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 5, 6 or 7 encounters, you know, on a very personal note. Yeah. I remember one very, because she was that type of a person where she believed in the incorruptible nature of the press, or the journalist. Yeah. Yes, she believed in the incorruptible nature of the press. And you see this aspect of Gumbo syndrome that we always preach, she was virtually against it. Yeah, we were here, you see, she was out because there was some sort of a confrontation between Barrister Achu Julius and myself. You remember, you moderated that debate. Sure. And so Lobe came in as someone who could divide us, you know, bringing a neutral standpoint.
She brought a neutral perspective.
A neutral perspective to the debate, because at one point the debate turned
too polarized
between 2 political parties, one of the ruling party and one of the opposition, Social Democratic Front, that I represented that day. And so she came in, you know, as a go-between to separate us with her very decent, erudite insight, you know, which was free from, you know, partisan politics. I think she is leaving that legacy, and many of our young colleagues who have never had the opportunity to rub shoulders with Lobe will probably regret. We used to have very nice moments in the early 2000s, you know, 2004, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all those things, okay? On Fridays, we are already with the Paul Mahers and the Limsa, okay? We always go to the cabaret. And our families knew that. Now, on Fridays, they knew that I'm going to the cabaret. Yeah. That was established. You see, that is the social aspect, because she will tell us that il faut qu'on aille au cabaret. Après le travail, après le problème que nous avons, il faut travailler. Il faut puger le cerveau. And that is it. We'll move to the cabaret, we'll sing, we'll dance, we'll chat. You see, we'll rehearse. And she was a very good singer. And sometimes she has a very good recollection of music, of the Makosa. Because if you are derailed, she will tell, no, this year, this person is this person who did this.
Yeah, who did this?
This person only came after.
Interesting anecdotes there from Henry K. Jang on about Suzanne Lobe. And just like you heard there, it was not only about the media. It was also part of social life. You know, she was always sociable. And Suzanne Lobe was very simple. We all knew her for her traditional shirt and jean with sneakers. Casual. You know, casual. She was always casual. Shirt, jean, and sneakers. And she always took her taxi, you know, all around. It was her simplicity also that made her, you know, bring people closer to her. She looked very firm, but if you go closer to her, you'll find a mother, you'll find someone who is always willing to lend a helping hand and enable younger professionals to grow. I think her loss is a very huge, her death is a very huge loss, not only for journalists, but for people as a whole, particularly the Sawa community. Like I mentioned, she was a good cultural promoter. Just before I go to mention that she wrote so many books, amongst them you had Les Chroniques sur le Mangue, that was in 2010, and in 2012 she also published another book known as Lobe and Lair. So she was someone who had a very critical thought, extensive, in-depth, and knew how to position herself and make herself impactful. And for a woman, she was that source of hope and inspiration to many female journalists.
Thank you very much, Peter and Sosi. She did inspire many. Suzanne Lobe, may her gentle soul continue to rest in peace. Larissa Libon, we've got more reports on more tributes to Suzanne Lobe from Serge Bertranisi.
En effet, ce sont de magnifiques souvenirs de Suzanne Lobe. Sa polyvalence dans le métier du journalisme, dans la culture, en politique, en économie, elle aura marqué la jeunesse et même la scène internationale par ses prises de position. Suzanne Lobe qui laisse une marque indélébile au sein du journalisme camerounais et même au sein de sa famille. Nos reporters d'ailleurs se sont rendus à son domicile ce matin, recueillir et prendre le pouls de la situation. L'émotion est assez vive de ce côté. Serge Bertrand ici, Rita Zigna, Emmanuel Kendissi.
L'atmosphère est lourde au domicile de la journaliste ce matin dans le premier arrondissement de la ville de Douala. Encore sous le choc de la nouvelle tombée comme un couperet aux premières heures de la matinée, ses proches ont en mémoire la dernière conversation avec la défunte de la veille qui ne présentait aucun signe de la fin.
Nous sommes très abasourdis parce que la nouvelle est tombée. Suzanne était malade. Là, on attendait qu'elle regagne la maison. C'était prévu pour cette fin de semaine. Malheureusement, nous ne savons pas ce qui s'est passé. Les choses ont tourné autrement. Bon, vous l'avez connue. Elle était furieuse de travail. Elle avait ses convictions qu'elle essayait de faire passer. Ces derniers moments, elle avait un souci parce qu'on avait un projet. C'était revenir, prendre ses forces et réaliser ce qu'on avait en pensée. Malheureusement, on s'arrête là. Maintenant, je suis désolé de vous accueillir ici. C'est qu'à l'intérieur, tout le monde est encore sous le choc. Et il peut y avoir des gestes qui ne sont pas agréables à diffuser à Mondiovision. Donc vous nous excuserez pour cet inconfort.
De son état civil, Suzanne Bema Lobe, la journaliste et éditorialiste âgée de 71 ans, est décédée à l'hôpital de la garnison militaire de Douala, alors que tous les signes prévoyaient le contraire. Journaliste engagée aux multiples casquettes, elle aura été de tous les combats, dont plusieurs générations en gardent encore l'impact social.
Je vais d'abord m'incliner devant la mémoire de cette grande dame, journaliste. Et en dehors d'être journaliste, c'était aussi une grande dame sur le plan politique, par rapport à ses opinions qu'elle avait sur la gouvernance politique au Cameroun. Vraiment, c'est une grosse nouvelle. Une nouvelle assez triste que nous avons apprise ce matin par son départ. Nous ne pouvons que, je ne peux que lui souhaiter paix à son âme et surtout que les œuvres qu'elle a commencées et qu'elle a laissées derrière elle, surtout sur le plan journalistique, qui est le plan avec lequel elle a été beaucoup connue. On espère que la génération d'aujourd'hui va continuer cet héritage qu'elle a laissé derrière elle. C'est une grosse perte pour le Cameroun en général, pour les journalistes en particulier et pour les leaders d'opinion parce que c'était une femme courageuse.
C'est une énorme perte pour les médias au Cameroun et ailleurs. Celle qui aura marqué le landerneau politique et médiatique par ses positions parfois jugées tranchées, quitte la scène au moment où son expérience aurait encore pu servir à la postérité. Alors que sa famille biologique est encore sous le choc, c'est toute la communauté qui souhaite à son âme un repos éternel à la dimension de son œuvre. Et la jeune génération qui aura bénéficié de son expérience en garde un souvenir plutôt plaisant.
Let's go.